How often does your axe look like this one?
Hi guys. I don't know if that'll focus or not. There we go. Now, yeah, I've been out to just finish bucking up all that wood. And as you can see, it's misty and rainy out. We got thunderstorms coming. So, and I was using this bumblebee. I don't know if you remember, but I had made a video on chopping some trees. And the bumblebee had a little click in it when I was chopping when it was cold. But today, when it's nice and humid and moist out, no click. That's all tight. And I just want to make a quick point about, to prove that I was really out there. We got some moisture. So what's the first thing we got to do? Well, first thing we got to do is dry that off. And then I'll show you what I do. We're just going to dry it off, and then I'm going to let it air dry for a long time. And then we're going to put my wax and linseed oil combination on there again. And reason we do that is because linseed oil is pretty water resistant. You can see that I treated the head, beading off of there. Yeah, that's that same linseed oil wax mix is on there. But let's get this off, get it dry, let it air dry, and then I'll wax it. And the wax, that top, everything else was linseed oil. It has maybe 5-6 coats of linseed oil in there. And then I topped it with the wax combination. The reason you would add pitch or pine tar or wax to your linseed oil is because that makes it more, they call it hydrophobic, but I always associate hydrophobic with rabies. My axes don't have rabies, but they repel water because the linseed oil goes into the wood, becomes part of the wood, and it's not a perfect barrier against water, vapor, humidity. It changes, it fluctuates with that because the wood still absorbs that. So the wax, that wax coating, just gives it a little extra, or if you're using pine tar or pitch in your top coats, it gives it a little more water barrier to the humidity and to the moisture changes. Not completely impermeable, but better than just linseed oil alone. Let it dry all day, and I don't see rust or anything. It's a little bit dirty. So what we'll do is we'll just clean that off a little bit. Put a little bit of alcohol in here. Dry off a minute. Now, what we'll do is start this. Got a little fry pan here. And we're just going to get that water boiling, and then I'm going to turn it off. So while that's drying, see this one I got marked with an L. That one is for leather. This will be neat's foot oil and wax. And I kind of settled on 2 wax to 1 neat's foot oil on that one. And this one is the running low, so I'm going to make some more quick for you right here. Got another 10 ready to go. And this will be for the handle. So while that's heating up, let me get this stuff mixed up for you. All right, so the water's heating up, and I'll put this tin in there. Okay, and I'm going to put in, this is a laundry, well, it's something for the laundry. It's like a clothes freshener crystal. Has this neat little cup in it. So we got a bunch of those. We got a bunch of those around. Take some of this white beeswax. Put 1 scoop of that in. Okay. Here's little wax pellets I got off of Amazon. Goes away. Now, well, that's heating up really nice, real quick. Wax is melting already. We'll put 1 container full of linseed oil. Okay. Doesn't matter, boiled linseed oil, whatever you want. And then you're going to need 1 container of mineral spirits or turpentine. I'm in the house. I'm using mineral spirits. It has almost no odor. Very, very light oil odor. I'll just grab a stick or something. Little stick. Oh, see, it's boiling already. I don't need it to boil any more than that, so I'm going to turn the heat off. That warm water is all it takes. And then just stir this around. Give that another minute here. And while that is melting, you can see it's moving, so that means it's working. We will take this. When this is done, it'll look like this. Okay, it'll look like a paste, kind of a soft paste. And I will put that all over the handle and all over the head. This dries in a thin, hard layer. And like I said, that wax is a little bit less vulnerable to moisture than linseed oil alone. So put that on really good. And like I said, in just very little time, just a few hours, that'll be done. Okay, so apply it kind of liberally, and then just take a paper towel and wipe the excess off. And I even have a shoe brush around here somewhere. I'll take the shoe brush and rub it in those little joints here, the creases. Scrub that out. Doesn't have to be done right away. But if the excess bothers you, then you scrub it out. Now, a little bit of friction. And that's done. That one's ready to go. We'll just set that one aside. That dry off back there. Now I'm done with that. Let's go ahead and take care of that sheath. It's been drying. It's nice and dry and a little bit hard again because it's been wet. And we'll take this one. Now this one's neatsfoot oil and wax. This one is a little bit juicier, which is good. And that soaks in and keeps the leather a little bit more supple, keeps it from being too dried out, and makes it waterproof again. Well, I wouldn't say waterproof, but a little less vulnerable to moisture. Rub my straps really good. And if you really get it in there, this will become like Latigo. Really soft. Okay. You could use anything. You could use regular leather conditioner, commercial leather conditioner, which is probably going to be neat's foot oil something. You could use mink oil. Whatever way you want to take care of your leather. I like this because when it dries, if I wanted to, I could put Vaseline over this, put an acrylic finish on it if I wanted. What about the inside? Do we ever treat that? Sure, why not? And I was worried, a while back that because I do carved ones, that would get my carvings mushy. It would keep them from being such a crisp design. No, didn't bother it. Really tried to pay attention to that, like what Don Gonzalez does to his saddles. What he does. I don't know if he uses a wax mixture, but he sure uses neat's foot oil. Now, that too will dry in there. That's my leather protection. And we're ready for the next time. Meanwhile, because I used the same kind of container for both, let me use this broken drill bit here as a scratch all. I'll make sure to put a W on here for wood. And that's all there is to that. Just wanted to repeat. The mixture that I'm using for the wood is 1-1-1. 1 mineral spirit, 1 or turpentine, 1 wax, and 1 linseed oil. Now, why do you put the mineral oil in? Because when you put the wax in, it'll make it too thick. Okay. People are already sometimes thinning their linseed oil down because they want it to soak into the wood. Well, if you add pine tar or pitch, which is an option to the wax, then you'll want to add something that thins it down so that it's able to absorb into the wood. Okay. Now, take the excess off of there. And then I'm going to put that, I just set it on a tool handle or something so that will dry overnight. Then we're ready to go again. That's all that takes. All right, so speed ahead about 90 seconds, 2 minutes later, with water that is no longer boiling, it's just hot water, and that has become a beautiful, homogeneous liquid that in the morning when I come down will be that white, soft paste. Now you can experiment if you want a thicker paste, a harder paste, just adjust your proportions. But the U.S. Forest Service had recommended 1-1-1. I used 1-1-1. I liked it, so I haven't experimented. I haven't done anything different. And the same with the neat's foot oil. Let me show you the bottle for that. I've got a bigger jug of this around somewhere, but just 100% pure neat's foot oil. And you could use this straight. You wouldn't have to do anything. I like to use the wax because then I can buff it a little bit when I'm done. And I only do that too as a top coat. When I was making the sheath, that had a couple of coats of just pure neat's foot oil, pretty liberal, let it dry. And then when I was all done, that's when I give it the wax finish.